Today we are going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. You're telling me there was no editor that could catch that?
Handle with care.
15 hours and 24 minutes on the clock. We are now supposed to believe in this love story, this romance with someone he's just met. What the hell is happening? I feel like I'm spiraling because of how bad my reads have been recently. Hi fairies, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Fifi. It's so nice to have you here. I hope you stay well. Today we are going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. Last year I did this like every other month, if not every single month, and it was stressful but also really fun to do, and I haven't done it in a little while. I haven't done it at all this year, so I was like, it's been a while. My reading habits and pace changes every single day, so let's see how much it will take me to realistically read in 24 hours, in a 24-hour time period right now. So the book we will be starting with is Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. I have the ebook right here. This is the prequel to the Divine Rivals duology that I read last year. I gave the first book 5 stars and the second book 4 or 4.5. I love that duology so much. I just love Rebecca Ross's writing. I think it's so beautiful, so romantic and evocative, and I was really excited when this was announced. It actually came out last year, but I've kind of been putting it off, and I finally picked it up I think last week. I got like 14% into it and I had to put it down for a bit because I just wasn't feeling it. Not like anything was wrong with the book, it was literally just a me thing. I wasn't feeling it in that moment and I had to put it down because I really don't want anything to come between my foreseen love for this book. I am now 27% into it on chapter 21, and honestly I still don't know how I feel right now. Like I said, this is a prequel to the Divine Rivals duology. I believe this is set like hundreds of years before the events of those books. This one follows the gods that we are kind of introduced to in those books, and we are getting so much more with the actual magic system and world building. Like, it's so vast, so very much detailed and intentional, and I'm really liking that aspect. I really like how much detail we are getting as to, the different gods and their magic and their homes and their powers and what they can do and what they can't do, and the war between gods and just the politics of it all. I'm really enjoying. This is at its crux supposedly a fantasy romance, so we are going to be seeing a romance bloom between our main character Matilda and a mortal called Vincent. And yeah, we have gotten some inklings of that, but I am not quite hooked. They formed a very quick relationship in my opinion. It felt very not lovey, but like it felt very quick, and I didn't really get the basis of it, so I was very much like skeptical, and I still am quite skeptical as to how it will unfold. I really hope it's much smoother and the rest of the book takes a slower approach to their romantic relationship. But aside from that, I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the writing. It's nothing necessarily special, but it's quite lyrical, and I am really liking that. I don't think that is quite as good as the Divine Rivals duology. Honestly, the writing in that book was just so evocative and romantic, and while this is in fact evocative, I'm just not getting the feelings that I had when I was reading the duology. Either way, we are going to start our 24-hour timer and continue this book, and I will give you updates whenever I can. So guys, how I was saying that I'm not really feeling this book, but I didn't really have a substantial reason why. I now in fact have a substantial reason as to why I'm not feeling the book, at least in this very moment. I just came across something very weird. So in a particular line, our main character Matilda is talking about Enya, a god that we are introduced to in the original duology, and she says, I had seen it occasionally, but she had always been fond of me, becoming the first person I could trust skyward despite my father's warning. Okay, and then a couple of pages later, like less than 20 pages later, we get another line where she's talking about a different god called Shale. She says, he despised the god of wind, and how my father favored Shale over all other divines at court. How Shale had always been fond of me, the first skyward I had ever trusted. So like, You already said Enya was the first skyward, now you're saying Shield. So which one is it? These are the little inconsistencies that I really do not like or appreciate, especially in traditionally published books like these, because you're telling me there was no editor that could catch that. There was no other person that read the book, like an arc reader, even the author, Ross herself, couldn't and didn't catch that. That's weird. That's not very encouraging. It really upsets me because I'm not even 30% to this book and we're already getting things like this. And it's not even like our main character is supposed to be an unreliable narrator, at least I don't think she is. So it's just like, this is really, it's really annoying and disappointing. But yeah, I'm going to keep reading. I'm still not feeling it. The writing is not, what I expected. It's still very good or good enough, evocative enough. It has become even more evocative over time. But yeah, I'm just not connecting right now. I don't know why exactly, but it's not looking good. It's really not.
You're listening to the audio production of Handle with Care, a novel by Mary Beth Mayhew Whalen, published by Thomas Nelson and performed by Jane Oppenheimer.
It's the next day. We have 20 hours on the timer. As far as Wild Reverence, it is divided into 5 acts. So I am currently on Act 4. I am 62% into this book. Honestly, I am not liking it. I'm not liking it at all. I literally can't find a single thing to hold on to when it comes to this book. And it's just such a disappointment because I expected this to be like a 5-star read. Considering how much I love the Divine Rivals duology, I just thought that this would be literally amazing. And I have seen so many people hype it up and so many people rate it 5 stars. And I'm just like, are we reading the same book? Because hell no, this is not at all a good book in my opinion. Like I told you, I already noticed some inconsistencies and we have had even more since I talked to you. We've had about 2 more instances where something will be said about the plot, about the world, and then later on we'll get another line that basically contradicts what was initially said. I'm like, okay, so which is it? Like, what are we doing here? Like, was there no editor? And also the writing is just so clunky and all over the place. There's no like smooth progression between scenes and chapters, and it's just very odd. I don't understand what's going on and what happened with this book. It just feels so unnecessary. I'm reading it and constantly asking myself, what is the point of this? Like, what is the end goal? Like, what's happening? The whole point of this book and why people were excited for this book was that, in the Divine Rivals duology, we hear about the gods, but we are not really told much as to, what they really do and how they came about. And people really expected that this book would shine light on the actual, magic system and everything with the gods. And yes, we have gotten some insight, but not anything useful or substantial or anything that really makes sense, especially with Enva, who was like one of the main gods in the first book. We have barely gotten anything about why exactly she did what she did and why exactly, this and that happened. I'm trying not to spoil, but like it all just feels very baseless, especially the romance. Okay, the romance is just so like I don't even know how to explain it. They meet each other as children and are immediately besotted with each other, and it's like, how did this happen? And then they lose contact for like 13 years. 13 years and they meet again and everything is just like so easy and smooth and they're already yearning for each other and so in love, and it's like, how and when did this happen? Where's the basis for this supposed romance between a god and a literal mortal? You're telling me this god, this god cares so much for this mortal, but you have not actually showed me why and how, and like just giving me anything to really hold on to when it comes to romance. And romance is in fact the selling point, right? It's crazy because a romance between a god and a mortal, especially the woman being the god, has so much potential. In this book, though, it feels like everything is thrown so lackadaisically without any actual thought. I feel like she just wanted to write a pure romantasy novel so that everybody will be dying. Oh my god, like I just don't get it. I don't understand the point. It's really pissing me off. I can't lie, it's pissing me off because, like I said, one of my most anticipated reads, and I've been putting it off for the perfect time, and I thought this was the perfect time, and it's just like disappointing and it's so annoying because like you never want to read a book that you've been looking forward to and like hate it. I'm not hating it. I won't say I'm hating it, but it's like it's so boring. No real progression, no real explanation for things that are happening, no real explanation for these gods and why they are able to do some things and not able to do some other things. Like I feel myself getting so heated. It's actually just so annoying. But yeah, anyway, I started an audiobook arc granted to me by NetGalley, Handle with Care by Mary Beth Mayhew Whalen. It is a literary fiction, I believe women's fiction. It says a story about finding hope in the face of hardship and connection in the face of crisis. Three women walk into a post office. This is no joke. It's the spark that ignites a life-altering crisis. On a quiet spring afternoon, an ordinary small-town post office becomes ground zero for a domestic dispute. A husband draws a weapon and seals the doors, holding four women captive: his frightened wife, a young woman searching for meaning and uncertainty, a mother on the brink of letting go as her only daughter graduates, and an elderly woman concealing a secret that could shatter everything she knows. Outside, the negotiator works to keep a fragile peace, forced to confront her own issues as every word becomes a lifeline. Each of the three women who walked into the post office is carrying something that, if mailed, would profoundly change her life. As minutes become hours in this day-long siege, these strangers forge lasting bonds. Handle with Care shines a light on hope found even in the darkest moments and illuminates how even strangers, thrown together by chance and hardship, have the power to change each other's lives. So apparently there's a bit of humor, but also a lot of heart. And I think I've heard that people cry after reading it. It's giving what's that book by Frederick Bachman? I forget what it's called, but I'll put it on the screen. I haven't read that book, but I have been meaning to. This book has a slightly similar premise to that one. So I'm assuming if I finish this book and like it, I might start that soon enough. But yeah, when I wasn't reading Wild Reverence, I was listening to this book and I've made it 22% into it. I don't really have any thoughts on it right now. I think the writing is okay, pretty good. It's that kind of lyrical literary fiction type writing that just talks about the human condition and life, and it's very introspective. And so I'm enjoying it for what it is. And I do like the narrator. I think we're about to get to the point where the main plot kicks off. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, I'm just going to be listening to it in tandem with reading Wild Reverence, and I will update you whenever I can. Guys, I'm almost 80% into Wild Reverence, and I'm just like, it's actually so like I have to laugh, if not I'll cry because it's actually that deep for me. It's that deep. I keep waiting for a camera crew to pop out and be like, haha, gotcha. Because there's no way, right? There's no way this is actually the book I've been waiting for, the book I've been anticipating. Like, I built this up so, I feel so fucking stupid right now because I made this book like an incredible book in my head. Right now, I just feel like I've been pushed off the highest cliff and I feel embarrassed. Like, it's so crazy when an author embarrasses you. Like, what are we doing? I'm bored out of my mind. I'm rolling my eyes every other page. Like, at this point, I just, I just want it to be over with. I'm sorry. I can't believe the amount of people that give this book 5 stars. Wow. Isn't that so crazy?
That done, she doesn't so much sit as perch on the chair.
Alright, guys, 15 hours and 24 minutes on the clock, and I do have some updates to share with you. I did, in fact, finish Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. Where do I even start from with this book? I think I have said most of what I can say without being, too mean and unfair. I just feel like this was a disappointment. This was not what I thought it would be at all. It was not anything comparable to the original Divine Rivals duology. It was pretty freaking boring and baseless and did not serve any real purpose at all. I finished this book and the only thing on my mind was, what did I just read that for? Like, what did I just gain from that? Literally next to nothing. And that is, in fact, very disappointing because, like I said, I thought this would be a 5 star, 6 star tier read, and it definitely was not that. I didn't even completely hate it. Okay, there were some points that I quite enjoyed and some lines that I noted, but generally it was just too freaking mid. Like that's literally what I can say. It had no real basis. The plot was so weak and unnecessarily like all around the place. There were so many inconsistencies and things that just did not add up or make sense. I just feel like there wasn't enough time put into the writing of this book. It felt very rushed and also dragged in so many different instances and points. And overall, it just felt not good. It just did not feel good. The romance itself, which is supposed to be the selling point, like this god and mortal romance, supposed to be so much yearning, supposed to be so much love, and it's all just so bland and boring and baseless. And I'm like, girl, this cannot be the same writer that I knew from the original Define Rebel's duology. I just feel very much let down. And yeah, that's all I can say right now. I think I'm going to give it a 2.75, maybe a 3 star, maybe a 2.5. It's just that the more I think about it, the more I'm like, wow, like this is fucked up, especially considering how many people I've seen give this book 5 stars. Like, what are you guys on? Like, anyway, I'm glad that's over with. But let's talk about Handle with Care, the audiobook that I'm listening to. I am now 71% into it. And yeah, this as well is quite mid. This book is platformed as a domestic thriller, and don't even don't go into it expecting a thriller because it's definitely not a thriller. It's literally just a literary fiction that feels just pointless. I'm reading it, I'm like, I already know what's going to happen. The characters are baseless, like there's no real reason why we should care or why they seem to start to care for each other. The pacing is so weird. I also find the writing kind of bland and just meandering. I'm just bored. Hello. I'm literally listening at 2.5 times speed because I kind of want to get it over with too. But yeah, it's really not looking great. But what can we do? I'm obviously going to keep listening to it. I'm also going to start this graphic novel called Hotel Limbo. It's another arc that I was given by NetGalley, and it's like 100 or so pages. So I think I can get it done in like an hour or two. I don't really know what it's about. I just thought the cover was pretty cool, and I've been wanting to get more into graphic novels. So I guess I'll read it and let you know what I thought about it and what it even is about. I've just been sat here working on my crochet project. I'm trying to make a bolero, a mesh bolero. I have unfortunately run out of yarn though, so I'm going to put a pause on that. But I was just listening to this audiobook and I just can't get down with it. Like, I'm not buying what they're selling, what this author is selling to me or trying to sell to me, because like it just doesn't make sense. It feels very fake and forced, and there are so many inconsistencies. It's just so unrealistic to me, and everything feels overly convenient. And the writing is just like boring, as I said, and derivative, and honestly redundant. Like, it's preachy, almost repeating things over and over again, trying to sell us this idea of hope and love and faith, and it's just not. It's not computing. It feels very like basic. I am almost done with it. It's 2% in. I'm not hating it, but I just don't care, you know. I'm literally almost done with this audiobook. But tell me why this man literally holds his wife alongside 3 other women hostage. All these women have literal families, friends, children, everything, including an old woman who has hypoglycemia. Like what? All because she's trying to get a divorce because he is a deadbeat of a man. That's just insane to me. And the book is just saying it all like lackadaisically, and it's just so being so preachy and like, I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of propaganda in this book. Like, maybe I'm just too woke, but it feels very like family love propaganda. I don't know how to put it honestly, but I'm not loving this book. I think the narrator is doing a great job. I just don't care for the book. I think it's just basic and boring and preachy. Like, why are you preaching to me about faith and hope? Like, the amount of times you've had the word hope in this book, I'm just like, we get it. We get it. Trust me, we get it. It's just like very odd. And the fact that it's listed as a domestic thriller, it's barely even a drama. Like, not much is even happening. It's boring. No shade. But, let's wrap it up. Please ignore how I look right now, but I have just finished Handle with Care by Mary Beth Mayhew Whalen. This was, I don't know, it was just like a normal book. Like it was a book for sure, but it just didn't give me anything to really hold on to. I felt like the characters were quite bland, except maybe one or two, and even then, we didn't really get much. The writing itself is so bland and basic, just felt preachy and redundant, literally going on and on about the same thing over and over. And it's like, Jesus Christ, we get it. Like, we get it. We understand hope is like a thing all of us should have, blah, blah, blah. We've heard that like 5 million times before. Like, can you give us something new, something refreshing, something, that gives a hot take on the topic of hope, not literally the thing that we've all heard time and time again. I don't know, it just felt like a basic general fiction. Like if you went on ChatGPT and told it to write a general fiction for you, like that would be this book, no shade. I was kind of scared because the way it was going, I thought the ending would piss me off, but thankfully it did not. Thankfully, we had a better ending than I expected, even though, like I said, it still wasn't anything necessarily substantial. It still didn't give us much. But yeah, I honestly would not recommend this book at all. There are like 1,000 general fiction, literary fiction books I would recommend before I think of this one. But I guess it was a book. I'm just like so angry because every book nowadays is just bad. I don't know if it's just me, but like, where are the good books? Hello. I'm just so mad because this was another book where I thought, it would be like a really good read and I would at least get maybe a 4 star. No, I thought wrong. Like, hello. I'm just so mad. I was going to give this book 2.5 stars, but now that I'm thinking about it and I'm getting even more pissed off, I'm going to give it 2 stars because what the hell? I feel like I'm spiraling because of how bad my reads have been recently. Like, is reading going to put me in a depression? Hello, reading usually brings me out of depression. That's scary. That's insane. That's something to think about. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah. I guess right now I'm going to read that graphic novel. I don't really read graphic novels as I said, but we'll see if it's good. I don't even know what will constitute a good graphic novel. I guess maybe the artwork is good. But like it would need to have a good story as well, right? I don't know. Whatever happens, obviously I will let you know. All right, hi guys, it's the next day. It's late in the afternoon. I just got back from work. I'm so freaking tired. I haven't read anything today. Yesterday, I tried starting Hotel Limbo with the graphic novel by Ben Harrell, and I got one page into it and literally slept off. And I left my timer on, and then I woke up around like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and realized that my timer was still on. The timer is at 7 hours, 21 minutes, but I have like 4 hours that I kind of missed because I slept off. So I'm going to have to keep that in mind and add it up. I'm actually supposed to have about 11 hours left, which is kind of annoying, but yeah, I'm going to just keep reading. Like I said, I haven't read anything today. I've been so busy and I'm so tired. I don't even think I'm going to really read today. I am going to try to read and finish the graphic novel. I think I can do that in like an hour or two. This 24-hour readathon is not going as I planned. I started it on Friday. I plan to do it over the weekend, but it's currently Monday and we're still like just halfway through. But I'm going to try and lock in this night and tomorrow so we can wrap it up because I do want to start another reading vlog. Obviously, whatever happens, I will let you know, but I just wanted to come on here and give you an update. I also think I'm going to finally put up this. I made this crochet hammock like months ago, and I have been meaning to put it up like right there in that angle of the wall, but I just haven't gotten to it. I've just been so lazy to actually hang it up, but I think I'm going to log in and do that today, literally right now, probably. But yeah, as far as reading goes, after this graphic novel, I'm not sure what I would read next because I feel very unmotivated because the books that I'm reading have been mid and bad. So yeah, your guess is as good as mine, but I guess we'll see. So I started a 4 hour timer for the time that I missed, and it's done now because I finished the graphic novel I told you about, and then I started another physical book, which we'll get into. But let's talk a bit about this graphic novel, Hotel Limbo by Ben Harrell. This is a very, a very weird book. Like I said, I don't really read graphic novels, so I have no idea what to really think of this. I think it was a very quick and easy time. I enjoyed it for the most part. It's just about this hotel where dead people come and convene before they finally pass on. And we are basically following the workers in this hotel. And it's just a fun, quirky time. I can't lie, it was all just a little too silly, goofy for me personally. We're in this dreamlike state where so many things are happening and random shit goes on that feels almost psychedelic. And yeah, I did let out a giggle or two because the characters are kind of funny, but overall, I just did not see the real point to all of it. It was an okay time, and I'm assuming there'll be more like in this series. So maybe I'll continue it when that comes out. But yeah, I read it in an hour. It honestly took me longer than it should have because at some point the text was a little too small and illegible for me personally. I don't know why they don't take people like me that can barely see into account when they are doing these things. But yeah, I also didn't enjoy the fact that it was a combination of so many different artists. In my mind, graphic novels are like one artist throughout, and that's like a part of the storytelling. And it was kind of touched on in this book that there is an intention for the multiple, artists, but we don't get any insight or reasoning as to why that is. I just felt like it was a bit distorted and didn't help in the flow of the story, the continuity of it all, because at some point we would get, serious anime style illustrations, and then at other points we would get very unserious cartoonish type of illustrations, and it was just like, okay, am I supposed to take this seriously right now? I really have no idea what I would rate this. Maybe a 3 star or a 2.75. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's that about the graphic novel. That was interesting to say the least. Then I started what I think would be the final book for this video, The Distance Between Us by Maggie O'Farrell. I have heard a lot about this author. She's the author that wrote the book Hamnet, that was really popular because it got an adaptation recently. This is a very old book by her. I believe it was released in 2004. So yeah, I'm going far back into her discography, and I'm very interested in seeing if I like her writing and what I think, because I do want to go on and read Hamnet and more books by her. I have already started this book. I made it to page 141. This book doesn't have chapters, which is very interesting. It's divided into multiple parts, and the parts are like pages long, like 100 pages long, I believe. And I'm currently on part 2. This basically follows Stella and Jake. Okay, they seemingly know nothing of each other's existence, but they both flee their lives. Jake in search of a place so remote it doesn't appear on any map, and Stella for a destination in Scotland, the significance of which only her sister will understand. It says this book is a novel about parallel lives, displaced identities, and the bond between sisters. Above all, it is a love story about two people who have never met, which is very interesting. While this far in, and these people still have no idea who each other are, so I'm very curious as to how it will turn into a love story. I'm not sure how I will feel about that, but so far, if you want to know my thoughts about this book, I am not loving it. I really am not. The writing is very, very basic, very simplistic. It's written in third person present tense, so it's very like straight, very to the point, very like she does this, he does that, he goes here, she goes there, and it's like, okay, I just feel like it doesn't really have a tone of voice to it. Like literally anybody with a basic education in English would have written or could have written this book, and it's just like, okay, like I'm not sure how I'm feeling right now. It's also very interesting because we are going back and forth between present day and their past lives, getting some insight into their childhood and what got them to where I'm assuming they will get to. My problem is that there's no indication as to when we are going back in time or when we are in present day. Like it's just paragraph after paragraph, and it's like very confusing, especially in the beginning. I was just like, what the hell is happening? I thought this was going to be a sci-fi novel of sorts, but it's not. It's literally just a literary fiction. So I just don't know. I really don't know. I'm not loving the writing, I'm not loving the progression, but I'm intrigued by the story. One thing I already don't like in the plot is the fact that we had this weird grooming situation between our main character Jake and another character, and it just feels very like unnecessary. Like, why was that even incorporated? Like, what was the point of that? Because we haven't even got back to it since then, and it just feels very weird and like icky. I don't like shit like that. It's just unnecessary in my opinion. Regardless, I'm not hating it, I'm just not loving it, which is sad. I feel like I'm entering a bookstop, honestly, because it took me 3 hours to read 140 pages. Usually in 3 hours I would have gotten to like page 170 or 180. But the fact that all my books for the past 5 reads have been kind of bad and mid, I'm just not motivated, and this book is not encouraging at all. So yeah, I'm just going to keep reading, honestly. I really want to wrap up this video today, so I'm going to try and finish this book today. I'm going to lock in. We have 4 hours and 43 minutes left on the timer. I am currently on page 256 of this book, about 68% into it. Main characters have finally met. Okay, so we have this much to now build what would be this epic love story, which is like insane, because what do you mean? That is going to be very hard to believe and come, you know, to terms with. But yeah, I'm just going through this story kind of listlessly. I don't really care too much about anything that's happening. The writing does not grip me in any way, shape, or form. It feels pretty basic to me. I guess it's atmospheric, but it's also like kind of bland, no shade. It's taken me so much longer than it should to read this book because of how weird the writing is and how we are going back and forth between present day and the past, just randomly, like between paragraphs, and it's just very odd. I just don't like it. It's kind of annoying me. I'm having to spend minutes on one page. But yeah, I'm going to keep reading. I don't know if I'll give you an update if I finish it, but I guess we'll see. How the hell did we get here? He literally has a wife. He's married to somebody else, and granted, that situation is weird, but like, we are now supposed to believe in this love story, this romance with someone he's just met, and we have this much left. I'm sorry, but I can't see how that works. Like, I have to go out soon, but this page I just read, I'm just like, this man is, something is wrong with him. He's like bland as hell, but also stupid as hell. I just can't. Like, it's just so unserious, in my opinion. I can't see how this is supposed to be emotionally layered. Like, I get, the whole trauma that they have both been through. They've had a lot going on in both of their families, okay, especially Stella, our female main character. But like the man, Jake, I just can't, like, I can't, like, I just hate him. He's so, like, this book is kind of dumb. Ooh. I have a lot of updates for you guys. Okay, so I finished this book, Distance Between Us. I don't think there's anything more I have to say about this book. At first, I thought it was just like not for me, but the further I got into it, it just progressively got weirder and more unserious and kind of dumb. And I was just like over it by the 60% mark, and it ended up just being so corny. Like, I didn't see the emotional depth and I just didn't see the reason for this so-called love story. Like, how did this happen? How did they develop this great love for each other? Like, where did that happen? Am I reading a different book from other people? It wasn't horrible, it was just not good and definitely dated. So I think I'm going to give it 2 stars, honestly. Like, it was just a nothing book in my opinion, and it's upsetting because I started thinking that it would be like a very interesting retrospective or introspective sci-fi type of novel. It's definitely not sci-fi, it's definitely just a literary fiction, but kind of bad literary fiction. The writing, everything just, it didn't do it for me, unfortunately. So yeah, 2 stars. After I finished this, we had about 1 hour and some minutes on the timer, so I just decided to pick up another graphic novel, another arc that I was given on NetGalley, The Marshmallows by Anna Laura Sullivan. She also illustrated it, which I think is very, very cool. It's basically just following this little boy and his foster parents as they basically save their community, their town. I found it very cool. I think it was much better than I expected. I really liked the illustrations and I liked the font. The text was very clear and legible. I just think while it was nothing necessarily special, it was very cute and wholesome, and it came together to be something that I really, really enjoyed. I spent about 30 minutes reading it and it was very quick, very easy. So I think I'm going to give it like a 3 star as well. Yeah, that's basically it. We do still have 57 minutes on the timer, but honestly, there's nothing that I can really read in that time, and I don't even want to read anymore. I'm actually really tired of reading. Like, I'm over it. So we're going to forgo that. So the whole point of this video was to see how much I can realistically read in a 24-hour time period, and while we only read for like 23 hours, let's see how much we got done in that time. As far as actual books, I read 384 pages of Wild Reveries because I had already started it, 288 pages of Handle with Care, and 372 pages of The Distance Between Us. So altogether, I read 1044 pages. Then with the graphic novels, I read 276 pages of Hotel Limbo and 152 pages of The Marshmallows, so 428 pages altogether. Altogether, I read a total of 1,472 pages in this video, which is very, very good. I got 5 books down, so freaking happy about it. That does bring us to the end of the video, but before we leave, I wanted to give you updates on my crochet. I am working on this little bag for a little girl that I know. I'm not done with it yet. I just need to do the other arm and then join it together, but like, it's so cute. And then I am still working on my bolero that I started. So yeah, I will, show you guys when I'm done, probably in another video. We have come to the end of this video finally. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I spoke about in this video, what you thought about them, if you liked them, if you didn't, if you would like to read them. Just talk to me down below. I love reading and replying comments. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram if you want to be book besties or just besties in general. I would really love and appreciate that. But for now, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.